Another day, another cold start. Let's see how she does. Oh, it's cold. It's cold, it's like 30 degrees, but she started. Talk about close. No room. Alright, so what we're doing today, it is Monday now. We're just waiting on everything, confirmation, insurance, all the other BS. I'm waiting on some phone calls. So we are about to tow the CRV, the one that I'm selling, the one for $2 grand. We're taking it here to get fixed. If nobody buys it the next day or two for $2 grand, I'm just gonna get it inspected and everything legal and good to go. But it does run and drive and everything. I just don't have a second driver, so, but yeah, so we're gonna tow that here. This thing's been sitting a while. Let's see if she starts. Yeah, she does. Starts right up. Alright, so basically what we're gonna do is same thing as last time. We're gonna pull this thing off, go and grab the other trailer. We're gonna pull that out and then drop the CRV. If I could get this dang pin. I hate doing this. I'm hoping today's the last day I gotta do this. I do not enjoy this at all. Alright, so basically what we're gonna do is just pull this thing off while it's here. This will be the last time this thing comes here. So I'm gonna get this like 100% going and get it inspected, and then we're just gonna put it on the lot with an inspection sticker and a leak-free transmission. At the time you guys are seeing this, you have one last chance to get it for $2 grand. It has a transmission leak, but still runs and drives fine. You guys can see it had a little bit of leak right there. So transmission otherwise works great. Drove it to Virginia, no issue. Check engine light is on because there's no cat, and ABS is on because there's no sensors. But that doesn't, the ABS does not fail inspection. So let's get this thing going down. Let's get some heat in this thing. Ah, right, e-brake. Man, this thing is a nice little shit box. It just runs and drives. There's literally nothing wrong with driving this thing on the road. I just, unfortunately, in PA, we need inspections here. But, so that means this thing needs a catalytic converter. It's from Florida, so none of that really mattered. But runs and drives great. All right, we're off. I think that's tight enough, right? So, gonna get this thing out of here, take it to the shop, and then it's no longer my problem. All right, so I'm gonna put this out here for the guys that do want to run waste oil. Make sure you keep one of these on you, a multi-tool, and a pair of these on you, as well as some Teflon. So basically, here's your elbow. If you're on a stock 12 valve, if you're not gonna put extra fuel filters on it, which I've already ordered extra fuel filters, so I should only have to deal with this like one more time because I'm actually running straight oil right now. So basically, vice grips, you can unscrew the thing and then you guys can see, let me see if I can get the light on for you. There's your screen right in there. And then there's all the gunk that came out of it. So, super quick, super easy to deal with. It's just a pain, but the fact that I think I put 1381 in this tank, and that's how many miles I've gotten so far, and I still have a full tank. So I'd say we're doing all right, but I got two big ass 2 micron filters coming. So I'm gonna get this thing thrown back on. And I literally did this with a multi-tool, pair of vice grips, and some brake clean. So yes, I recommend re-Tefloning this. I don't have any on me right now. I'm gonna go grab some when I get home. But that'll make a world of difference. So yes, you can run your 12 valve on oil. I also recommend not doing it on a factory fuel system. But screw that back in and Should be golden. All right, so as I was saying, I am running straight oil. There is, I don't think, any fuel in this tank anymore. I think I've run out all the fuel, but you guys can see there it is, all buttoned back up. Got my mount here for my ECU since it's a 12 valve, because you can't do this on a common rail. Look at that. Fired right back up. Let's build that fuel pressure. There we go. Look at that. That looks a little better. So we got her back up. Now we're gonna head to the shop, and yeah, what a day. What a day. I was like, I'm so close to home too, but if I'd have kept going, you guys can see that hill right there. I'd have never made it up that hill. So I figured I'd just stop here and just do it real quick and see if I could. Worst case scenario, I got the CRV, I could have just drove home or had her get stuff out of the shed, but we're good. So, pair of vice grips, multi-tool with a screwdriver, and some Teflon and some brake clean. That's the 4 things I recommend. We are back in business. Like, that wasn't too bad. Over here climbing the mountain at 50 the whole time in 5th gear, running on straight oil. Straight oil pulling this thing up the mountain. No hiccups. All right, so I told you guys before, I broke the collar on this, okay? So I bought a new one. So we're gonna be replacing it with this one. So we'll actually be able to use the exhaust brake, and we'll be able to build a setup for this to work. Because right now, if I pull this pin, it'll go into exhaust brake, but then you can't pull it out enough to put this pin back in. Well, now we can. So that'll be great. Turbo's still good. There was a lot of oil in the front. I think something's pissing oil somewhere, but whatever. Just a little bit of oil. I should also mention that to get this to this point legitimately took me less than like 8 minutes. Turbo out, here, off, pulled apart. So now we're gonna get the 19 is on one side, and then we'll get this side off. Then I need to get the Allen heads off, pull the front cover off, pull the adjustment out. All right, so if you guys watched previous video, you guys can see that this snapped off. Here's about where we are at, right in here. So basically this holds into this, and then this goes down through right here, and then there is a little Allen head right there. So that's basically it right now. We're just gonna toss this guy right back in here. I marked, you guys can see the lines there, so that's each individual side. So this is max opening on each side. So that's what we're gonna follow. Make sure that we get it exactly where it was before, but that is a nice new collar. This is not the first time I've had to replace these. So I knew how to do it from before. So I'm gonna get this thrown back together and we'll go from there. All right, she's all back together. Nice new vane collar. And this time it actually, you know, I can actually move this one. Unlike this one here, you can push all the way this way fine, but when you wanted to come back, what it would do is it would kick sideways and it would catch. So you'd actually, exhaust pressure was what would open this. Because if you pushed on here, it would open. If you pushed on here, it would not. So this is all taken care of. Right now, to use the exhaust brake for, like, if it's warming up, I just have to pull this pin and it'll put in an exhaust brake, and then I can just push it back, pop this thing back in, and I can drive. But we'll come up with a controller for the exhaust brake function pretty soon here, probably in the next month or so. Here's what she looks like without the turbo on there. So we'll get this thing installed and shouldn't be too bad. All right, so pretty much I can use the exhaust brake for, you guys can hear it, I can use it for warming the truck up, which the truck has been warming up really well. Let me turn the high idle off. Turn the high idle off, and then throw the stopper back in it. I can only use it for warming the truck up. So you guys can see, that's how it looks in normal driving position. So like I said, there will be, once it's all done, there will be another version. I want to make an actual nice version where we use like a CNC table to get it to come out like the design that it's supposed to be. And then we also replaced the wire on the welder, which is why the welds look like absolute garbage. It was a flux core wire that we were using in the MIG gas. We didn't know that's what they put in it when we got that welder from the previous shop. So now the welder actually welds really nicely. So we're gonna try that out. I get to weld a trailer tomorrow. So we'll go from there. All right, so I wanna finish this video off here. Now that I learned how to screen record, this is kind of cool. So I went through and updated this sheet that I made for like the budgeting and whatnot. This is basically what I'm gonna be doing for all of 2022. I showed you guys my 2022 goals. These are my minimal goals right here. I'm going to do my best to achieve them. If I don't achieve them 100%, you know, whatever. I did start today doing the 4 to 5 a.m. wake up. I was up till about midnight last night, so unfortunately, but I still got up at 5 in the morning. So basically, like you guys can see, these are what my goals, my main goals are of 2022. So with that being said, I went through and I made an entire chart, as you guys saw in the last video. I made an entire chart for my budgeting for 2022, which this is going to make life so much simpler, and it's going to make me know exactly where I can spend my money on what. You guys can see here's an examples tab right here. So I have what happens if I made 4,000, 3,000, 2,000, 1,000. I can pretty much enter like whatever numbers I want. So the last week of December, actually I should probably incorporate some dates in here. I haven't done that, but basically last week I only made $450 last week. Now that was net, that was take home, so not that big a deal because I did net about $6,000 in the month of December without running Hotshot at all. So with that being said, you guys can see I did only $450 last week. Now, what's that leave you? You guys can see I updated this, so you know, 25% of whatever I spend. So this week I'm allowed to spend $112 on fuel because that's 25% of what I made. Now, obviously, I'm literally spending $0 on fuel. I am into my tank about 570 miles, and that's off of $13. So I also have a full tank of fuel right now, but it's not fuel, it's actually straight oil. So I'm literally running the truck on any waste oil and fluids that I can possibly run. So it's been dirt cheap. I'm going to see if I can't get 800 miles out of this tank at the bare minimal, which would be pretty cool. And I did get the tow today. So basically, Courtney, this is the account that I use for my home bills. So I just give her the card for that account and let her pay the bills with that card. So I basically just named the account Courtney, just so that she knows. So 20% of anything I make goes in that account, so I have to put $90 in that account. Savings, I have a savings account as well, so I take 20% and I'll put it in savings account. That's an extra $90. Maintenance fund, 10%. I'm allowed $45 this week to throw in that account. I would like to get another account made for maintenance because, let's see, so we have our maintenance here. So you guys can see there's a column over here for fuel, food, and maintenance. Now, I haven't spent a dime on any of these things this week. So, you guys can see down here at the bottom in green, here is the amounts. This basically equals this number over here, 112, minus whatever goes in this column here. Same thing with food. You guys can see the formula for that, and you can see the formula for maintenance. So what that means that anything I put in here, say I spend, you know, $25 today on fuel, right? Watch down at the bottom right here. Boom, I put $25 in and $87.50 is what it's at now. Say I enter $37, boom, now it's down to $50.50. So you guys get the point there. So that's basically what's going on there. So anything I spend in maintenance this week will go in this column. Yes, it may be a little bit complicated. There's probably a simpler way of doing this, but I'm a big fan of spreadsheets. That's just my life. And every year I get to start over with them. So you guys can see 7% of anything I make goes straight into Bitcoin. I'm going to be, let's just say this way, I'm going to be putting as much money as possible this year into Bitcoin. So whatever is left over out of any of these numbers here, at the end of the week, goes straight into Bitcoin. No exceptions. Obviously, once the February payments, and so after February hits, everything's going into Bitcoin as much as possible. And also and Bitcoin, debt, and trying to get another trailer. So those are going to come. And then lastly, 5% I'm allowed to spend on food. So while I go to work this week, obviously I've spent 0 on food right now, but I'm allowed 5%. So I made $450 last week. That means I can spend $22.50 this week. Now, my brother made a good point with this. He's like, oh man, don't take it out on yourself if you didn't make any money last week. And my logic is, yes, absolutely take it out on yourself. If I can't make enough to cover food for my family. You know, in that case, why should I make enough to cover food for myself? So that just pushes me to work harder. Now, you can come over here for like examples. Say I make $1,000 a week, right? That's $250 for fuel, $200 for Courtney, $200 for savings, $100 in maintenance, $70 in Bitcoin, and $50 for food. That's, you know, that's $1,000. Here's your $2,000 numbers. We'll double that, $3,000 and $4,000. So $4,000 week has been, you know, pretty much my average week when I was running transport. So that gives me $1,000 a week to play with fuel. $800 goes to Courtney. $800 goes to savings. $400 for maintenance. $280 for Bitcoin and $200 for fuel. And that's basically that. That would leave $520 in my checking account to pay miscellaneous business stuff. So that's why I only made this 85%, or let's just say 82%. So that leaves me 18% of whatever I make stays in the checking account, pending I actually use all those numbers. So like every week, obviously, this week I did not make enough to cover my trailer payment. My trailer payment's $250 a week, okay? I didn't make enough to cover that this week. So what do? It just has to come out of this. So that literally leaves $250. And that's ultimately what the number should be right there. But that's going to be, you know, for another day. So that'll be paid off soon. But you guys get the point. I have the coins that I decided to invest in for this year. I have my year start. I'm not going to show you guys how much exactly I have of everything. But then I'm also going to be adding. So I haven't added a single thing to this yet. Because basically this number here, I just added another $200 into my trust wallet before this month started. So I'm not going to add this until next week. Money will start going in. So I'll be investing heavily into Bitcoin. And then I'm able to take and put a number here, and that number will come down here. You guys can see it'll tally that number, and it'll basically here as well. Yeah, it'll tally all this up, okay? And then it'll tell me how much my profit on crypto was this week. Same with down here. You guys see this 260,000 gross. Well, I did a thing here. This does the sum of my profit right here and the profit of each individual month. So that's what this column right here is for. I'm going to do total yearly. No, I'm just going to do total profit. Okay? BU. Boom. And then I'll make it different. So there you go. That's basically the gist of it. I went through and tried to make it as complicated as possible because that's just kind of person I am. I get up now at 5 in the morning every single day, whether it's weekends, whether it's weekdays. If I don't have anything to do, that leaves me with this. Guys, check out the description. I have a bunch of things down there. If you guys are interested in cryptos or sending me cool stuff, or you want to get a hold of me, my email's in the description. My P.O. box is down there. My Trust wallet, my Coinbase wallet is down there. By the way, screw Coinbase. Coinbase absolutely sucks, but I can buy my crypto, and it actually only cost me $3 to buy Bitcoin. Whereas if I use Trust Wallet to buy it, which I trust Trust Wallet more, it actually cost me more to buy it with a credit card than it would if I were to just buy it on Coinbase. So that's why I use Coinbase Wallet, and then I send all my crypto over to Trust Wallet. So I don't really keep any of my money in Coinbase. So screw Coinbase, but my code is down in the description, just because it's a wallet. It works. It's not the best thing in the world. I'm not going to recommend it, but my code is down there. We get $5 free Bitcoin. If you use my Mudflap code, we get $10 free fuel. So appreciate you guys for using that. The other thing I have set up here is you guys saw my sheet for the jobs stuff 2020. I can't see the bottom corner, but you saw how much I made last year, and then I can come over here. I do have a 12-valve swap checklist for you guys if needed, but I also have right here, I have 2022 made up. Now, obviously, I haven't done anything yet. YouTube ad revenue doesn't pay me till the end of the month, so even though I'm working every day, I don't get paid that YouTube check until the 22nd of every month. So everything is in here with the same amount of columns as last month. I did 102 jobs that I actually marked on this sheet last year. So I probably did a little bit more, but I didn't mark some things down. So I did make just over 130 gross. So something else to keep in mind before I close this out, that what you guys saw on my 2021, you guys can see right here. So if you look at my December and compare it, you see Robinson Transport right here, okay? RV Mafia. You can see, let me move the camera over. You can see this was a gross number. Anything with Robinson Transport or anything to do with transport are gross numbers. December, I didn't mark a lot of things, so it is a little over $6,000, but you can see that was all net. The month of December, I made more money than I did if I was an over-the-road truck driver. Not gross, obviously, but net, I took home more this month than I took home as an over-the-road guy. So we're going to try. With YouTube's help, I am able to be home every day. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope this helps you guys out. Appreciate you guys. See you in the next video. Safe travels. Peace.